very pleased that we are coming on a very historical, important days for academies. My idea has been always that we should look a little bit what is the character of an academy. Ladies and gentlemen, to be in a garden is quite an old idea. And I was hooking on Mr. Plato. Mr. Plato, it's only 2,500 years ago. He founded his first academy in the garden of Academos. Therefore, we have the word academy. Therefore, we have the word academicians coming from this time. And what happened in the garden of Academos with Plato? The main idea has been to walk together, to speak together, to develop idea in some sort of an interdisciplinarity. And I understand that interdisciplinarity is nothing else as a network of good ideas. And to bring it together, it's very good to walk a little bit, to exchange, to speak free from the soul, developing ideas. We all know it very well when you're in a lecture hall, when you're in a conference hall, you have immediately another atmosphere and another attitude addressing always a topic. And I thought we have to go to the Giardini, where we have a free sky, where we can breathe and develop. And nobody is saying that we have to believe on Europe. When you believe on Europe, then you have a power in yourself and you can overcome certain problems.
Ladies and gentlemen, Europe in need. Politics degenerates into the staging of power games without a recognizable strategy. This is far from the great task of designing public space out of convincing ideas, rationally implementing co-responsibility as a citizen and as its representatives. The election results acknowledge these oddities. Regarding the traditional parties, they prove the respective leadership dilemma as well as the loss of authority. The conventional parties are losing their approval, and at the same time voters' frustration is linking elsewhere. A society without orientation is a society in need. In essence, the process is tangible. Every person and every society must constantly filter and sort out the almost infinite number of incoming information. If we realize today's political failings in that dramatic way, then we must keep in mind an existential fact. In the political meaning of our lives, we are not box office owners who are bored and relaxed following the salvation drama on stage. No, we are participants, co-responsible, we are contributors. There is no political discourse in the public domain. A narrative is totally missing, even though the narrative allows to find new ways.
Innovation Space Europe. In the worldwide competition of global markets, Europe depends on the innovation dynamics of its people. Innovation requires creativity, which is increasingly concentrated in interdisciplinary research clusters. Energy networks, material science, information, technology, environment, climate change, robotics, life science, data science, medicine and health, cultural studies, identity research, migration, just to name a few, are problem-oriented research areas which connect interdisciplinary disciplines, transcend beyond traditional subject boundaries, and grow together in new research clusters. Problem-oriented research aims to get to designing new products and new skills from basic and applied research. Europe, therefore, set the framework conditions and incentives for innovation centers in which research and development of universities and colleges cooperate with companies and public institutions. In Europe, however, not only did science and technology emerge, which in the age of globalization led to global innovation dynamics. Europe has also created a unique cultural space based on democracy and human rights. Europe must therefore create the framework conditions for education and training systems so that in the age of digitization, job opportunities and zest for life for young people are opened and promoted in Europe.
Many factors prevent young people from committing themselves to the European Union. These include the enormous levels of youth unemployment in many southern EU countries. Young people hardly see a professional and as a result no private perspective. This stops them from being interested in transnational problems and issues at the European level. The younger generation often feels not understood and ignored by politics. This applies to a Europe which seems very far removed from the reality of life of young people. In addition, in many places in the EU, there is a lack of possibilities for economic participation in clear offers for political and social involvement for young people. Only 2 members of the European Union Parliament are currently under 30 years of age. Important for a young Europe of the future is a clear commitment to freedom as well as a practice of solidarity and sustainability. Ultimately, it is both Europe's responsibility and interest to effectively integrate the existing human capital of the younger generation in order to remain competitive in a global context through innovation and young ideas. The 4th point, confidence and freedom. Every innovative development happens in freedom, which you must trust. One can say that subsidiarity is essential at all levels, because in everyday life one can better assess and appreciate things. Here again, a facet of freedom emerges, that the regions and municipalities develop themselves further, but subsidiary in harmonization with the entire line of own responsibility and in the context of the competition of the powers of the markets. The tensions between East and South, North and West can only be overcome by an intense narrative, that is, to overcome the unnecessary differences if they are ideologically substantiated. The narrative makes you free, laws constrict you. Thank you.